Hey.
Oh boy, here we go again. Atlas is out here with another Persona 5 spin-off game, is what I would be saying if this wasn't a good-ass game. I honestly don't get why a lot of people hate it when Atlas quote-unquote milks their games. Okay, I kinda get it. You just want Persona 6 to come out already, right? But I mean, they'll get there when they get there. Meanwhile, let's just appreciate what they do put out. Alright guys? Alright, Persona 5 Tactica. Looney Tunes ass looking motherfucker. Okay, so I played and finished this game in the past week and just thought I'd talk about it for a bit. Spoiler free, of course. And maybe convince some of you to pick it up because these sales aren't looking too good, you guys. Wake up, Persona community. Look, a new waifu. You guys like those, right? As good as this game is, it might take a while to hook some of you because, well, the story is about what you'd expect out of a Persona spin-off game. New waifu aside, you'll mainly be playing this game for 3 reasons: the addictive gameplay, the music that comes with it, and the story. Kind of. The story is decent, it's just very, very predictable. There are 4 acts in the game, so you know what, let me just show you this graph over here. Okay, so gameplay wise, the first arc offers a decent tutorial, but you will find it to be a bit simple. The second and third arcs is where I think the game peaks. Combat gets really fun here as you're introduced to all the game mechanics, have access to high level skills, and there's now a good variety of enemies that each require different strategies to take down. For example, the buff guys always counterattack, the geishas have to be shot at a certain angle, and sumo wrestlers die instantly if they're knocked off a cliff. Shocker. By the way, can you guess what the best strategy is to win in this game? The Pythagorean theorem. So I hope you paid attention in math class, guys. Who needs a strategy guide when I have my old geometry textbook? As for the fourth arc, the gameplay quality is about the same, it just overstays its welcome a bit. They do that thing JRPGs do where you have to fight stronger versions of bosses you've already beaten. I hate it when Atlas does that because it's just blatant filler content. They did the same thing in Persona Q2, they did it in DDS, and they did it in Devil Summoner. This needs to stop. As for the music, my god, I did not expect it to be this good. With every Persona game that comes out, I always think, khalas, Persona music has peaked. There's no way they're going to top what already exists. Never have I been more glad to be wrong. Cause Atlas said, nah, fuck it, let's make 102 tracks for this dumb spin-off game and make every song a masterpiece. Okay, let's not go that far. Every arc has unique music. Every arc. Let's bring the graph back. Okay, so the music in the first arc is decent, but not anything special. But the second arc, oh my god, the second arc. It's got everything. It's got funk. Rock infused with the Asian sounds. Weird, ominous music. And the new song titled Truth or Dare might be my favorite song by Lin. The third arc is where the music decides to go all SMT on us. The boss theme in this arc was especially good. But speaking of SMT though, the music variety reminded me a lot of SMT5 and how that game had like 10 different boss themes it cycles through. Hell, even random side quests in this game had unique music, just like SMT5. The fourth arc though is where it falls a bit short, cause I felt the music to be a bit too generic. Finally, let's talk about the story. Now, stories in Persona spin-off games are pretty much just there to give context to the gameplay. This was true in Persona 4 Arena, Persona Q and Q2, all the dancing games. I think Strikers was the only one to break that mold, but I can't say the same about Tactica. Tactica, Arena and the Q games were less about the story and more about the theme. For example, Persona Q2's theme was about taking the path less taken, and Tactica's theme is one about liberation from oppression. A theme that is very relevant today as God knows there are still some places in the world that need freeing. The story starts off kinda bland and generic, but at least I did like the 2 new characters, Irina and Toshiro, quite a bit and fairly quickly. The story picks up a bit more in the second arc as you understand more about what's happening, and I especially think it's very clever how the two new characters have experienced struggles very similar to those of the Phantom Thieves. Losing your memory like Morgana, for example, or being married off like Haru. Although still very predictable, the story peaks, I think, in the third arc. But then, whoops, what happened here? Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the last arc. In fact, I would have rather this game just end by the third arc, because the last arc just felt tacked on and added nothing to the game. So yeah, pretty much the best parts of this game are the second and third arcs. Would I recommend Persona fans to buy this game just for those two arcs? Well, yes, I would. This game is a great addition to the Persona series, and I'll give it a score of like an 8.5 out of 10. I do have some nitpicks though. I'll start with the biggest one. Persona Fusion. Look at this shit. Only 2 skills per persona? Aha. Are you being deadass right now, Atlas? Fusion in a Persona game has never felt so unsatisfying and, as dare I say, somewhat useless as it has in this game. Next is, well, this is personal, but I really don't enjoy the banter between the Persona 5 cast. I can only take so many I'm not a cat jokes from Morgana before I start skipping cutscenes. If you really like the Persona 5 cast, then this shouldn't be an issue, but for me, it just makes me wish the Persona 3 and 4 casts were here as well. Also, I fucking hate the responses to my joke answers.
Oh, cut him some slack. His memory was a real mess back then, remember?
What are you, my mother? My last comment has to do with how the environments look like in the latter half of the game. I don't want to show them, but let's just say that I get why Arcs 3 and 4 weren't used in marketing. That would not have worked in their favor. So, yeah, Persona 5 Tactica, everyone. A very addictive game and Appetizer before we get Big Boy Reload next year. Around 2 months left now. Let's hang in there, everyone. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about Tactica down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.